Yeah.
But yeah, while we were there, it was when Connor just dropped the whiskey, and they were literally just handing out T-shirts, and I was like,
Have you had it though?
I've had it for the
No,
whiskey.
no,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
whiskey,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's
I
good.
drank it that night. I got fucked up.
Ah, there you go.
I actually really like his whiskey. It's pretty good.
There you
It's
go.
not bad. Yeah,
I mean,
it's kind of similar to
Jameson. Yeah.
Jameson.
Yeah.
Well, I like Jameson, so I mean.
Yeah, I
shit
like
works.
Jameson too, but it's a
good.
little bit. I don't know. It's not as good as Jameson, but maybe just because it's
Yeah.
newer. Jameson's kind of Jameson.
Got it down.
Yeah,
The blueprint.
yeah, they
It's
got
followed
the
on a regular standard
Yeah.
operating procedures.
Yeah, exactly. Y'all think he's gonna come back this year?
I do.
You do?
He gonna get his ass cut though.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever
he's
been
got
too
enough
far
money.
out, man. Too far
Yeah.
out of the
Yeah,
game.
he's got enough money. He don't need to come back. I would think. I would think that he's one of the highest paid UFC people.
For sure. I mean,
Yeah.
just off his
Mayweather fight, right?
Right. Come on.
I mean, I would think he don't
And
need
selling that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, he sold that shit for like $100 million.
And the other thing, you don't know all the other kind of sponsorship opportunities that guy has. That's how fighters make their money, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
So-
yeah.
He's supposed to be in that new movie. You seen that?
Oh,
The,
the Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Dude,
Cannot
how
wait for
fucking
that shit.
badass is that movie?
Yeah.
That movie looks. I was telling my wife, I was like, "Holy shit, fucking Roadhouse!" She's like, "What?"
Yeah.
I was like, "You've seen Roadhouse?" She's like, "No." I was like, "Stop."
Come
it.
on, yo, what's
Turned
happening
on
here?
fucking Roadhouse, and I was sitting there watching. I was like, "This movie's kind of corny."
It is
man.
terrible
This
when
is
you
kind
watch
of
it
corny
now.
now.
Yeah.
I was like, "Don't worry, Jake Gyllenhaal finna kill this."
Yeah,
shit.
he is.
But that's like all the Steven Seagal movies and shit. I mean, them shit are so corny. But if you watch them now, but when you was in the '90s, it's like a
Kid, yeah.
fucking teenager
What's
or
your
younger.
What's your favorite Steven Seagal movie?
Under Siege,
Under Siege was good. Above the Law.
I go with Out for Justice.
Out
Out
for
for
Justice.
Justice.
Out for Justice
That's
was
a
my
later
shit.
one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit earlier, actually.
Is
was in
it?
the-
I
was
thought
in
that was
the-
like a later,
like
little bit later
91,
one.
92.
I don't know, but I thought it was
pretty
like a
old.
little later on in his.
That was a good era too, right? Because we talking about it.
90s,
That's when
dude.
Van Damme was rocking in the late 80s.
I was
into
just
the
about to
90s.
bring up Van Damme with
Yeah.
the what was the one where he was like in jail and shit?
When they fighting in the pool.
Yeah,
Scene
that's
he's
a
fighting in
good.
the pool.
Damn, I am not.
I can't remember the name of
I'm
it,
not
though,
up
but I
to
know what you're
speed
talking
with
about.
Van Damme movies.
What?
I mean, I remember a couple of them, but I just don't
Bloodsport,
remember-
everybody knows Bloodsport.
I remember
Everybody
Bloodsport.
knows Bloodsport.
Yeah.
But, like, there was
Fucking
other
Time
fucking
Cop.
movies.
Time Cop.
I don't remember that.
That one.
Isn't that him and Jet Li?
Yes.
Or is it just Jet Li?
I think it's just Jet Li and
it's just
Jason
Jet Li.
Statham or something.
Okay, yeah, it was somebody
I'm about to
different.
say, because
Yeah.
does he have a movie with Jet Li?
Universal Soldier, you remember that shit?
Yeah, I remember
With
that
him and Dolph Lundgren, I think.
Dolph Lundgren, yes.
Yeah,
That's a bad
I didn't
motherfucker.
used to check for him, dude. I used
dude,
to check
Van
for
Damme was the man,
check for-
dog.
Chuck Norris was the fucking man.
Chuck
dude.
Norris
I
had
could
some
check for
shit.
Chuck
Sidekick
Norris.
was my
Sidekicks
shit back in
was-
the
Sidekicks
day.
was
yeah.
good.
Jonathan
yeah.
Mandis. That dude.
I've met Chuck Norris on a handful of times.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Cool dude.
Yeah. I mean, I was a kid because he would go to these big. So I came up taking Taekwondo, right?
Right.
So my first job was teaching Taekwondo as 12. And there was this big national tournament called the U.S. Open in Orlando.
Right.
And I met the original Ninja Turtles, the dudes that were in the Ninja
Oh,
Turtle
okay.
suits, the
From-
original movie.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
The 91.
Chuck Norris was
91.
there. You know, Ernie Reyes Jr. I don't know if you guys know who those guys is.
I
He
know
was in
Chuck
Surf
Norris,
Ninjas.
Okay.
Actually, Ernie Reyes Jr. was Donatello in the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh,
Dropping knowledge.
but he
on
didn't
you.
do the voice.
No, he just did all the
Corey
action. shit.
Feldman or whatever the dude's name did the
Wow,
voice.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That makes total
Yeah,
sense,
yeah.
dude. From the
fucking.
but he
first one.
only did the first one, right? It was a different voice for the second.
I don't know,
for the
but I
second
know
one?
he did one of them because you can recognize that voice.
Now that you
from
say it,
fucking a mile
now
away.
that you
Correct.
say it, I
Yeah.
do. Have you seen?
But I
Corey-
know who you're talking about because I've watched Surf Ninjas like
That's the
a
dude,
lot. It's
like
the
the Asian dude.
the like
Oh, like-
Hawaiian looking
oh,
guy.
okay, yeah,
it's
yeah,
Filipino,
yeah, yeah.
Filipino.
Filipino,
dude.
okay.
Yeah, just like
so
him.
Pacific Islander.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey.
I pick one or the other. Sometimes I mark Asian. Sometimes I mark Pacific Islander when I'm filling shit out. I just
Why
want to
not?
confuse the Census Bureau.
yeah.
But speaking of Chuck Norris, little guy, good dude. I mean, and I'm a little guy, so he was a nice dude whenever I met
Oh,
him.
he's little?
Yeah, he's not that big.
I didn't
No,
think he was that
damn.
tall.
he's not that big, bro.
Nah,
Fucking
I mean,
Chuck Norris.
well, that's like they say about Vin Diesel. You know what I'm saying? Like he's only like 5'3", but they make him look bigger in the movies and shit.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
for sure watched Fast 10, and him and Jason Momoa were like eye to eye. I'm like, I think Jason Momoa bigger than
Yeah,
Vin
I think
Diesel.
Jason
Way
Momoa-
bigger,
I think
dude.
Jason Momoa's
I'm
real
pretty
big.
sure Vin Diesel's like literally like 5'3",
8,
5'4".
9. No, he's not
I'm
that
telling
little,
you, bro.
bro.
I'm
No,
telling you.
5'3" is
I-
little, dude.
5'3", bro. He's
Yeah,
not
I don't think
small.
Vin
I'm
Diesel. He
telling
might be
you.
like 5'7".
You got to have some hella risers in them
he
shoes
might
to fucking
be
be doing the
5'7".
things he's doing.
Did y'all see the? I seen a picture the other day. It showed Godzilla. Have y'all seen this?
I
It's
seen
like
the new
Godzilla
one.
walking through the ocean. It's just a picture. Because there's a scene in the movie he's walking through the ocean
Right.
and they're like, this is what Godzilla's legs would look like if he was really standing in
saw
the ocean.
that.
And he's like his legs are like so much longer. I was like,
It's not real.
Nobody picked up on it's not real.
That's close to shore.
He was on
bro.
a sandbar, dude.
Yeah.
Doing what Jesus did. Everybody
Yeah.
thought he walked on water. He just walked
But
across the
speaking of
sandbar.
fucking, what was it?
Sidekicks?
Sidekicks.
Yeah, sidekicks. Like that shit. I remember made me want to do karate.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And I signed up for karate, and like the first week they were like, you know, you go,
Yeah.
huh,
Yeah.
huh. I was like, this some bullshit.
Yeah.
This ain't no Chuck Norris
Yeah,
shit. Bro.
come on.
Like,
I'm supposed to be Barry Wary out this bitch, dog.
yeah, no, like come on, man.
Very
Like you got me
wary.
doing some, like who even punches like that?
Yeah,
you know
it's
what I'm
weird,
saying?
man. Like
But,
I don't get it. It's weird.
yeah,
My friend, I used to go with my friend Patrick to, he'd go to karate. He started getting up there. I don't know whatever's before brown belt. He made it that far. And I was like, how do you get further in this shit? And it was basically like, you do this kata.
Yeah.
And I was like, so what is that? It was like, you basically have to learn these moves. I was like,
Yeah.
like a dance?
Yeah, it's like a dance,
And
but
they
it's
were
like
like, yeah.
simulating
Yeah,
you
you have to
being
fucking
attacked.
be like all these big
Right.
shits. And I was like, dude, I'd be a black belt in like 2 weeks if you just have to learn a dance.
I don't know.
That
It's
ain't
just
shit.
like growing up, like karate when we was young was like, oh, he takes karate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then the UFC came out. He was like, ain't not a motherfucker out there doing no karate.
Here's what I'll say to that, right? Like I competed at a pretty high level, competition wise, point fighting wise. There are techniques that are viable and will work. at
Oh, for
stopping
sure.
somebody. But
Yeah.
like overall,
yeah.
Yeah.
overall, you just learning some discipline.
I get it.
You know what I mean? Working out,
Right.
Learning how to have move your body. But I was just talking with this the same topic with a guy that comes to my gym who's travels over to Thailand all the time and fights in Thailand. And those guys are crazy. They'll fight 2 times a week, bro. Anyway, we were talking about he's a black belt and came from the same lineage that I came from, and we talked about some of the crossover techniques. There's only like 2 that I would trust. Really, it's a side kick and a front kick, and but if you know those and you practice them and drill them, you'll fuck somebody up with a side kick.
Yeah.
I've hung plenty of dude on a side kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Like, if you don't have any training and you're
Correct.
going against a karate fucking white belt, blue belt, whatever, like,
Yeah.
they're probably gonna fuck you up.
Well, here on the other note, we were talking about that, and he was like, "How long was it in your journey in traditional martial arts? Did you feel comfortable that if somebody ran up on you on the street was like, yo, you could do something?" He said 10 years. I think it's just a matter of, who you are. Like, I remember, getting into tussles and on the playground or whatever, and I would just do that shit. I would just do shit.
Yeah.
And sometimes it wouldn't land it, but it would, people would be like, oh shit.
Well,
Yeah,
some
he
people
knows
just
what
got
he's doing.
that. Some people just got that fight in them.
That's it.
You gotta
That's
have
it.
some
Got that
heart,
dog
little
in
bit
him.
of heart.
Dog,
That
let me
dog
tell you.
in
Let me
him.
tell you. This is the funniest shit for real, right? This is, talks about reputation, how it precedes people, right? I was in 8th grade. I went to Oak Brook Middle School, right?
All right.
In 8th grade, and I had just got my black belt, or maybe I was a black belt for a little while, and I did a kata, a musical kata, right, to Beethoven's Fifth.
Oh shit.
So it's like da 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 da, da 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 da, da da da, right? So after that, like, I was always a little guy and people pick on me, but after that, nobody fuck with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, off of nothing.
Yeah.
Off of me doing a little bit. I mean, yeah, I could kick high and I could hold that kick out, but like, realistically, I was 10, 60 pounds.
Yeah.
And everybody was at least 2 heads.
Yeah, but
2
they're like,
heads.
that motherfucker's a ninja.
That's right.
But there's
So I rode that wave as long as I
Yeah.
could, bro.
Hell yeah.
there's something about somebody. I mean, there's something about knowing somebody will fight.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, there's something different when you're like, man, this motherfucker ain't gonna do shit. And like,
Yeah.
well, this motherfucker might not win, but he's gonna do some
He can do
shit.
something.
Yeah.
Like, this ain't gonna be
I mean,
easy.
it's just
a little bit of a
yeah,
deterrent.
It's just masculinity. It's how men operate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you go, anytime somebody goes to jail, they're like, don't let nobody punk you. Like that's rule 1. Like if somebody's trying to take your shit or little man you, like it don't. You just
don't matter.
get your ass whooped. They still gonna respect you. They're like, I know this man's gonna swing. He gonna fight for what's his. You know what I'm
For sure.
saying?
Right.
But speaking on karate, like I feel like karate was like a big. It's almost like the gateway drug to mixed martial arts, and a lot of people. You know what I'm saying?
good.
Like
Yeah, that's
it's
good
like
analogy. That's good.
yeah, it's like the people that started out and had the discipline, took that shit serious. Then they moved on to taekwondo, and then who knows,
Whatever.
Muay Thai,
Yeah.
mixed martial arts, all kinds of different combat sports. So I just wasn't a fighter. So
Yeah.
What is Taekwondo?
Taekwondo is a Korean Korean martial art.
Is it more like
Kick
striking?
base.
Okay,
Yeah,
kicking.
kick base.
Okay.
So I took under the Jun Rhee style of Taekwondo. So like when most people think of Taekwondo, they think of Olympic Taekwondo, where it's just like pa, 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 like with their legs.
Yeah.
But we actually, we had striking with our hands. And what drew me to that style was that it was a hard, like straight line style. Everything was very like explosive. Right, the kicks were explosive. They were straight line. It was direct line of attacks. It wasn't bullshit. Where like you look at some of the kung fu stuff and Wing Chun stuff, it's very circular in motion. And for me, it feels like wasted motion. Like there's no economy in motion there. So fastest point to one next is A to B is a straight fucking line. Right. So like all those straight line movements resonated with me, and like in my little brain when I was 6, when my uncle signed me up. Because I was a little guy, he was like, "You can get fucked up a lot, so you're gonna go."
Yeah,
get
you might as well get a little.
You got to get
some kind of fight.
Yeah.
Right. And then even at that young age, I think I had an understanding of just the way the body worked and how fighting is supposed to happen. You know what I mean? Like some people, like I was watching this thing on Netflix the other day about savants, and then there was this series or this episode where people had sudden savant syndrome. You got hit in the head.
Oh, okay.
Woke up. Next thing you know, they can tell you what day
Yeah.
what day of a week on this date is 500 years from now.
Yeah, the brain's
or
tricky,
500
dude.
before.
The brain's or they wake up and they can play the piano.
Yeah,
like a motherfucker.
yeah, that's one of them too.
Yeah.
But like even at a young age, I feel like I understood that, and so my whole life had been centered around combat sports forever and ever, and then life gets in the way. But then boxing was always something that I really liked to do. So and again, like the hardcore straight line shots and just the grueling grind of the fight. That's what resonated in my life and kind of resonates with me now, and that's why I'm able to do the things that I'm doing now.
So I don't know shit about training for fighting. So would you say that boxing is a more endurance than like Taekwondo? Or how do they do like rounds of Taekwondo?
Yeah. So like when I was coming up, it was like point fighting. So it was like just high speed game of tag, right? So it was just like you line up on a fight line, like kind of like what they're doing on BKFC here. They got a fight line. You get to the line, ref calls fight. Whoever can get that motherfucker first and score in the scoring area is going to win. So the action is broken up, so it's real explosive. It's just like fight, boom.
Okay.
If I score, then it's stop, and then they score.
Yeah.
But boxing,
obviously,
because you got in the amateurs, it's still a lot of energy expenditure there, right? But they're mainly fighting 3 rounds, 3 minutes, with a minute rest in between. But then you get to the pro ranks where they start you out at 4 rounds, then you go up to 6, then you graduate up to 8, then you get to 10 and 12. That's really a fight, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Because I get guys coming to my gym all the time, grown men, and they're like, my wife hates this, but they'll come in the gym, first thing they want to do is spar. And I'm like, yo, have you trained before? I'm like, nah, I've been in street fights. I'm like, all right. And I always say this, street fights are squabbles.
yeah.
They last a minute, 30 seconds. If you got a bunch of homeboys and a bunch of people breaking it up, you got, bouncers breaking shit up. A real fight to me is if you got someone equal to you as far as size is concerned and you have a given amount of time and they've trained just as hard as you.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see, yeah.
That's
Let's
a real
see.
fight.
That's
sure.
a real fight.
Yeah.
And I put it, my wife hates it, and I said, baby, they signed a waiver. And yep, they signed a waiver. I put them in there with some of my teenage boys, and they just light them up, bro.
Yeah.
And then they get humbled real quick.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, how old is that kid? Like, he's 14, bro.
Yeah.
And then they never come back to the gym.
I seen a video. I seen a video recently, and it was a dude walked into the gym. He was talking shit to, I guess, like I don't know what you call, like the head coach. Or
Yeah, the
whatever
head
of the
coach,
gym.
yeah.
Dude walked in talking shit, and he's like, dude, you can't just walk in here and ask to spar the head
can't.
coach.
It
You
doesn't
can't
make
just do that.
sense.
Dude's like, no, fuck that. The coach being level headed was like, look, dude. If you want to, okay. But I'm telling you, this is a really, really bad idea.
Yeah.
Just fuck you, fuck that. He's like, let's go.
Yeah.
He said, but just know, when we get in here, it's on.
It's
Like,
on.
It's on. Like, I'm not, it's on.
Yeah.
And dude starts taking it easy on him at first, but then he's just like, you see the coach getting a little agitated. Bam, bam, starts tagging his ass up. He's like, come on, we ain't done fighting yet. Bing,
Yeah.
bing, bing, bing.
Then he
beat the
starts
shit out of this
lecturing
kid.
his ass.
Yeah.
But after he whipped his ass, he's like, dude's laying on the ground. He's like, you can't go into a gym and expect to just kick ass like this. It don't work like that.
Nah.
I doubt that guy went back.
Probably not.
I mean, it's the same like in any discipline, like jujitsu. Like
Yeah.
like when we had the homeboy here, it's like the difference between this belt and that belt is
Miles.
it's miles, and people come in and they think they're like, oh, he's just a blue belt. Like I'm a brown. It's like, yeah, but bro, he's been rolling. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying?
It takes
like, it's
years.
just
Like jiu-jitsu, I think, is a good not a throwback, but a good representation of what traditional arts should look like. What happened with like Taekwondo, karate, is just it became these what they call McDojos, where it was just like they were handing out belts, they were handing out black belts. You would get your black belt in a year.
Yeah.
Like it took me 4.5 years to get my black belt.
Yeah. Well, that's
what I
why.
mean?
What was homeboy's name?
Malachi. Friedman.
So-
Oh, Freeman, yeah, Black Label.
So that's
Yeah,
what. So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I asked him because I didn't understand. I was like, so how does the belt system go? Is it by the coach's discretion? He was like, yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, well, see, and that's cool because that's cool if you're an honest coach. But I can imagine that the human mind can be corrupted, and some coach would be like, let the shit go on some. He all right.
Well,
he good
here
enough.
it is. When it comes to anything, always when money becomes a part of the priority list, then you look. They're running a business. They got to keep the doors open.
Yeah.
So what happens is, as they get these kids in there, and they got to retain them. It's just like any other business.
Yeah.
You got to acquire your customer. You got to retain your
keep
customer.
them coming.
Yeah.
So how you retain customers in a karate setting? Well, you keep giving them belts because they feel like they're achieving things.
Yeah, it's a milestone.
And then you can charge them for the belt test, and you charge them for the belt, and you charge them for this, you charge them for that, and the next thing you know, the kid gets his black belt after 2 years, gets scuffed up and busted up at school, and
His
like,
ass
what the
kicked
fuck
at
did I
school.
pay you for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then it's the cycle just repeats. You know.
Oh, you need another
That's
black
tough.
belt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
need a black belt with a stripe on it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I fell in love with UFC, MMA, watching that shit because I mean, growing up like in the '90s, like boxing. I mean, UFC was kind of coming along, but it was kind of this like taboo kind of
was.
shit. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where it was like, it was almost like how we would like turn to channel 99 and try to catch a titty. You know what I'm saying? It was like that type of shit. Like you were like doing something wrong by watching it, kind of thing. Like it was just so
That
taboo.
elusive titty.
But like boxing, it's weird because like when I was younger, boxing was because Mike Tyson was huge. Like that's what I know boxing as. It's
Right.
like Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield and Lennox Lewis and
Yeah.
these just when the heavyweight division was just on fire in
George
the '90s.
Foreman.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he
Even
was he
Foreman
was
in the
towards
90s was
he
still
was
doing
like towards the end,
I
but
mean,
he was still
Holyfield
fucking people up.
Holyfield Foreman fight in the 90s was
Yeah.
a great fight.
But so I love that, and then UFC gained steam, and then I got into that. But what I'm trying to get to is like as I've gotten older, I'm starting to fall back in love with boxing again.
Yeah.
Because I just love like for instance Floyd Mayweather. Like I know he gets a lot of hate, but his game is so beautiful, bro.
Can't fuck
Like
with him, man.
the fucking defense, like. I know it's like whenever you watch MMA and like these guys are rolling on the ground and like the only people who enjoy that shit are fucking these
People who know it.
gym
dudes,
rats
right.
that are fucking BJJ fucking all day kind
Yeah.
of guys that are just like, well, he's about to pass. I'm like, I don't fucking care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's kind of the same thing when boxing. Like when you watch Mayweather, is like people are like, oh, he's running, he's this, and then you fucking look at the fucking the
Coffee
strike
box
count.
stats,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? You're like, this motherfucker landed 175 to this dude's 50.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this dude didn't touch him. Like he was like
Not
a
running,
fucking
he's
ghost
not
out
getting
there,
hit.
bro. He's not getting hit.
He's playing
That's the
defense.
game.
He's hitting.
That's
He's
the
hitting.
game. The game is
you
hit
know,
and not get hit.
like I've just fallen in love back with that. Of like, what I like about boxing is just like the beauty of this, the sweet science as they call it. Just the beauty of like you were talking about, where it's like you're not expending too much energy. You're moving. You're shaking. You're bam, 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 and like. I don't know, like I feel like MMA has kind of gotten to where like everybody is so like cross trained. It used to be fun to watch like the different styles and
Oh,
all
I
that
agree.
shit.
When they
I agree
when they put
100%.
a wrestler
Yeah.
against a boxer. or
Yeah,
some
what's
shit.
that look like, right?
Yeah, what's
See-
that look like? And now it's just like everybody's Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belts. Everybody's fucking like the only kind of differences you get is you get some elite wrestlers and some elite boxers or strikers.
Yeah.
And when that happens, then it's like, okay, you got that Brazilian jiu-jitsu motherfucker, but you gotta get me to the ground first, and I'm about to throw these hooks. I'm about to throw these uppercuts. I'm about to, you know what I'm
You
saying?
can beat Kimbo Slice, you get him on the ground. You
Yeah.
might not do it standing up.
Well, that's why I like one of my favorite fight. I know he gets a lot of fucking flack, but I've been watching him before. But like Sugar Sean O'Malley
Yeah.
up, like his striking is like it's so unorthodox. But I mean that motherfucker is a sniper,
he's
bro.
the evolution of the game that you're talking about.
Right.
Like, because this is the kid, this generation now coming up through the UFC and all the other MMA promotions are kids that this is all they know.
Yeah,
Right? All they know is MMA. Like, it's been the thing. So it's crazy to see the level, how the skill level has increased since even these days right here, right? On the Ultimate Fighter kind of days. And that's when it really popped, right? Was then. And that wasn't but, shit, 15 years ago, tops. You know, and right before
that's
this,
Kimbo.
Yeah, that's when Big Country beat him.
Get his ass on the ground.
Yeah.
Dude's like, it wasn't that fucking hard.
But I tell you what, though, another dude back in the day, man, he was one of the first YouTube legends. Kimbo was from all his fights in the street.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, him and Masvidal. Masvidal used to fight with
Yeah,
him. and
Masvidal, when he's got a famous one where he fought a dude way bigger than him too.
shit. Yeah, he's a great fucking striker too.
Yeah.
But I think it's like you said, like the evolution, like Sean. I think what happened was like, it went to where they were like, oh, jiu-jitsu is the only way.
Yeah.
So for a while it was like jiu-jitsu was like what everybody wanted, and now it's like everything's coming together. Like the striking's coming back and being like, it's always been important, but for a while they were like, wrestling and jiu-jitsu is how you beat people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You
Yep.
fucking drag them down and you take them to deep water and you keep the motherfuckers there until they drown. You know what I'm saying? And then it got back to like, all right, so how can I stop that from happening? People were like, well, if I can kick you in the face and rip your arm off on the ground, then it's like kind of hard to beat me. You know
I feel like if a good base to start in MMA, in my opinion, would be wrestling.
Yeah.
It's not as technical as BJJ, obviously, but like the conditioning aspect of wrestling.
Yeah.
Like if there was any other athlete more conditioned than a boxer, it's going to be a wrestler, in my opinion. Those dudes know how to grind. I love training wrestlers.
How do you feel about these bare knuckle boxers?
I've got one that competes at BKFC.
Yeah.
Roberto Armas. Yeah, he's a 135
Shout
pounder.
out.
Sounds dangerous as fuck, dude.
It's really not. I thought so in the very beginning, just because of I'll tell you what's different is the sound.
Yeah.
Because we fought on the prelim cards for the first couple fights, and so nobody's really in the venue. And when you hear a knuckles against face, it's disturbing.
It looks it's horrifying
It's
to watch
disturbing.
these dudes
Yeah.
get
But
ate
what
up.
you're learning and what I'm learning, because I've cornered 4 fights in the BKFC with Roberto, is that it's not like boxing in the sense that you're wrapped, you got your hands wrapped, you got gloves on, you can crack, boom, boom, boom. Bare knuckle, you're not. You just kind of peppering them. Bip, bip, bip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it don't take anything to get
Oh,
cut
yeah.
up. And so it looks bad because of the blood aspect, but you really can't load up a ton. Unfortunately, God, I don't know what he did with our blueprint when he made our hands. They're really not designed to hit hard like that. You know what I mean? So
like when you have all that padding, you're not afraid to like really hit hard.
go to work.
Yeah.
And there's been some research here that I've seen lately that people in different states, because it's bare knuckle boxing is still not approved in all 50 states, right? So it's still illegal in some states. And then so they're doing all this research and says, hey, look, well, boxing, we have all this data. CTE, head trauma's real. You know, you got examples like Freddie Roach, who fought forever and ever, now has Parkinson's, and same thing with Ali and all the other. There's several other big names where you can point that to.
Yeah.
That boxing gloves, because you can hit more harder, is more dangerous than bare knuckle.
Yeah. I think it's that mixed in with it's harder to knock someone out with a boxing glove. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like you're gonna take more abuse. Whereas, like, maybe with a bare knuckle, like, you can catch somebody on the chin that with a boxing glove might not have knocked them out. But
Maybe.
Maybe.
I think the difference, though, is just now I've not competed in bare knuckle, so I'm just going off what my fighter is telling me. But, like when I was a kid, as an example, when I would get into fights, the first thing I would do was if I knew I was going to fight, like, it was imminent, like hands were going to be thrown, I would slap somebody. Pop, I'd slap them. Open hand.
Yeah.
Because it stings. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah. See some stars off that shit.
And then I follow up with a real knuckle. But then that's what he was saying. It was like the pain tolerance is different.
Okay.
Like where a boxing glove is like thud, boom, like oh shit. But then if you get hit bare knuckle, it's still that thud, but it's also that concentrated spot of
like
you
a
just
sharper,
box.
yeah, that makes
Okay.
sense. That makes sense.
So
I was just wondering because I know like that's like what they've said about MMA versus boxing is because that's what they had to prove to make MMA acceptable was that it's no more dangerous than boxing. And like one of the things he says is like I think it's better to get knocked out once than to get concussed like 100 times over 12 rounds. You know what I'm saying? And like there's definitely a higher knockout ratio in MMA than there is, or in mixed martial arts than there is in boxing because you can kind of eat more punches when they're and it's not like I think the big punches are gonna be, you know, if you would be knocked out with a big glove, you'd be knocked out with no glove.
Yeah.
If they catch
but
you,
you
right.
took a shot. If you get knocked out in boxing, you took a shot.
Yeah, but those like those shots that just kind of hurt.
Yeah.
It might have knocked you out if you had a smaller glove.
That's the good point.
But
It's
a
the
bigger
accumulation
glove
of
is
shit.
like, okay, that sucked, but I'm good. And boxing, obviously, you get a count. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you get knocked the fuck down in UFC, and you can't fucking and you're stumbling getting up. They're not like going to tap your gloves together and make you walk towards them and be like, all right, man, get back in there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Give it your best go.
The
buddy.
video
Yeah.
that's kept popping up on me here recently has been the Tyson Fury when he gets knocked out. He's out, and they
Yeah.
ask him like, "Were you out?" He's like, "Hell yeah."
Well, when
Yeah.
he fought Wilder.
We fought Wilder.
Yeah.
yeah,
He's like, "Were you out?" He's like, "Hell yeah."
That man rose
I
like
was asleep.
Jesus on the third day.
yeah. He got lucky against Nagano too.
He sure did. I think
You know
he
what I
slept
mean?
on Nagano, bro. He shouldn't have
Yeah,
done that.
he did sleep on him because that dude's got some fucking.
And Nagano
just
also did a
otherworldly
good job
power.
with his not leaking much because you'd watch him training, you see him hitting the pads, you'd be like, man, he looks like shit, right? And this whole training camp looked like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he came out in the fight, and you're like, damn, he didn't look like that in training.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They probably was. Yeah, that's probably strategic.
Yo, hold on,
Let's make
100%.
them look like we can't
Yeah,
fight.
100% it was strategic, bro.
How you think Bruce Lee would have done in the MMA or any like judged fighting?
I'm biased, right? Because that was the man. That's
He
the
was
man.
my shit.
That's
He
the
was my
man,
shit.
bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he'll give a lot of guys will give him credit for being the grandfather or the forefather of MMA, and it's true. And in his writings, and I've studied Bruce a lot, you can see him taking the best from all the styles, which in essence is MMA, right?
Yeah.
Now, there's never been any real account of him competing, but I'll say this: a man that disciplined, that dedicated to learning the craft, number one, or creating a craft, number one, and then number two, keeping his body in physical fight shape at all times, and then number three, the philosophy of
Yeah.
which he would fight. I think he would fuck a lot of people up.
Yeah.
Dude,
Now, would it
especially-
work in a controlled environment like the UFC? Yeah, it would, but who knows, right?
Yeah.
I think it would, especially if he's fighting like people his weight, his size. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's a bad motherfucker.
He's
He's
a bad
only like
motherfucker, bro.
130
30 pounds,
20,
135
Was
30
it,
pounds at tops, 5'7",
I
135.
don't know if I heard it correctly or if I'm misinformed, but didn't he say something about like all his muscles were for show and they're actually in his way?
I don't recall that, but it sounded like maybe
I think he said something like the technique that I do, yeah, it's cool for show, but the muscles are more for the camera
Yeah.
because honestly, these things get in my way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
From
he
being-
did.
from-
He
from
did
moving
say
shredded
something
up,
to
though,
that
bro.
effect. He was
moving
like,
around.
you know, if I were to be competing, then I would cut down and not be so muscular. It was
Yeah.
just, it looked good whenever
Yeah.
he's oiled up, fucking on
Yeah.
camera.
Yeah.
But I like what you said, like mixed martial arts. It's kind of because back in his day, it was like, this is your discipline, and you only do this thing.
Yep.
And he got a lot of flack for like venturing outside because you were supposed to be like, we're Taekwondo
Yeah.
and fuck karate.
Correct.
And we're karate, fuck Muay Thai. And
Correct.
we're, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody, they were almost like gangs. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
it
saying?
was.
Like
That's
we're-
100% what it
right?
was. You
So
look
we're
at
like
all-
a Muay Thai gang. You know what I'm saying? Like all of us Muay Thai guys. And if we go somewhere and there's a bunch of fucking Taekwondo guys, we're going to fuck them up. And Bruce Lee was just like, well, I'm going to learn all y'all shit and fuck all y'all up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that was his idea behind it.
Yep.
And I think that's, like you said, it's kind of what birthed what we know as MMA now, where
100%.
people were like,
was a
fuck
beast,
that,
man.
dude. Like, why would you not want to know how to wrestle?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care how good you can kick. When that fucking jock over there,
Yeah.
that's 185 pounds and just fucking brick shit house, and he takes you to the ground and chokes you the fuck out, you ain't gonna like that.
I don't know if you watch that movie. Whenever them dudes were testing his ass in the gym, he's like, "We can fight."
Yeah.
He's like, "You got to catch me first."
You know, there's recounts of real fights, but you know, it's all hearsay. It's all folklore at this point.
folklore.
Yeah, you don't know.
Be like water, man. That was his
But
shit.
like I said, his philosophy it still resonates today. Like it's still very
Yeah.
real.
Well, what got you, because, I mean, we've been talking about MMA, what got you into boxing?
Yeah. So what got me into boxing was after my Taekwondo stint. It kind of evolved on its own. So I was always the shorter fighter. So I never really kicked a lot with guys. I used kicks to set up my hands, and then kicks as defensive measures. So I had pretty good timing on that side of it. So eventually, back in the late 80s, early 90s, I transitioned from what we call point fighting, like I said, you know, where it's just boom, a quick game of tag, to what we called continuous fighting, which basically was kickboxing to a degree.
Yeah.
Right. And then I transferred over to kickboxing and started training boxing at the same time because my gym had a kickboxing coach and a boxing coach, and so then it just became more natural that I preferred using my hands anyway, even
Right.
when I was kicking, right?
Yeah.
And so it just became, hey, I got good footwork. I was pretty fast, pretty strong for my size, pretty explosive, and then boxing just was what I trained after that, you know. And,
Yeah.
and that's kind of how I got into boxing from that perspective.
I wish I had the discipline.
Well, it's just like anything though. If you love it, you're
Yeah.
gonna do it, right? Like you guys love doing this, you're gonna do it. You guys love making music, you're gonna make music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For
Like,
sure.
That's just what it is.
Yeah.
You know.
Did you so you boxed competitively for a while or
So I kickboxed and continuous fought for a long time, and then when I got into boxing, I was in my late teens, 18, 19, around there. And I'd been doing kickboxing and boxing all the way up until that point, training-wise. And back in the day, there used to be this promotion company that would have pro boxing every third Thursday of the week off Aviation Avenue and the old Plex. I don't know if you're
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Plex.
Oh, yeah.
Plex?
Yeah.
So this was like 2000, 2001. So I was 18, 19. Yeah, it's like 20. And I was training with my kickboxing boxing coach. And because I had all that experience fighting and kickboxing and all that stuff, they were like, yeah, you don't need to fight amateur. Let's go ahead and sign you up for your first pro fight. And so I was supposed to fight on that promotional company. And then as luck would happen, it was right around 2001. And unfortunately, that promotion company went out of business. And there went out my pro boxing debut. But I was in camp for it, never had it. And then I started really getting into amateur boxing. Got learning about coaching side of things. Trained my cousin, was really my first student, and then that's how I got into really amateur boxing. And then life happened. You know, I met my first wife, had some kids, had to take care of them, and then it came full circle. You know, I don't know, 15, 20 years later, which leads us to where I'm at now with Rodriguez Boxing Academy.
Do you like coaching or fighting better?
I enjoy coaching better. I feel like I'm a better coach. I was a decent fighter.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel the same way about basketball.
Yeah. I was a decent fighter. There's limitations that I had. Some of them self-imposed in my own brain. Some of them physical. Because no matter the weight division, you know, I had to overcome things. And I think a lot of it was just kind of my mental makeup. It's like, fuck, he's tall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's how I was always viewed things.
Yeah.
And so maybe I held myself a little bit back when I was a fighter. But I love to fight. But I'll tell you this. There people will say that are fighters that truly love to win. They'll say there's nothing better than that feeling after you know you've won that fight, right? Whether you knocked them out or you go to decision,
Right.
whatever it is. But as a coach, there's so much more time invested into that fighter.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because it takes I don't let people just come into the gym and they train for 3 months and you're going to take a fight. That's just not how it works. Right? You're going to train for a good hot minute and you're going to spar a lot. And I say there's levels to it, right? So one of my litmus tests for my fighters before I let them fight is that you got to be able to go 3 straight rounds with some of the killers in the gym around your weight class with no issue and holding your own. Right? I'm not saying you got to win, but you got to hold your own. Second step is I invite other gyms to our gym, and I call that protect the house. Because whenever we bring other gyms over, it's the closest, one of the closest, that's the next step for a new fighter to understand what it is like to compete. Because now you're going to fight somebody or box somebody you ain't never boxed before. So now you're going to have to make your adjustments. You're going to have to listen to me in the corner. You're going to have to listen for the calls. And then the final step where I really feel like people are ready to fight is when we go what I call home invade. So when we go to other gyms, we're there to do business. And if you're wanting to fight and this is your first home invasion with us, then you got to do good at that other gym. Because that's the closest thing you're going to get to a fight. You're in somebody's
100%.
own home.
Yeah.
Just like you knocking on their front door and be like, hey, yo, you want to fight in the front yard?
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah.
And you got all your people looking. They got all their people looking. They talking shit. We're talking shit. And that's
Nice.
real.
Damn.
That's
Yeah.
real.
I just want to be a fly on the wall when that shit
Oh,
happens.
my God.
That shit sounds intense.
It's intense. It gets a little crazy.
My dad drug me to somebody's house to fight him one time.
Yeah.
Fucking dads in the 90s.
My
Like,
dad's like, I came home, was like, this kid punched
Who
me.
hit you?
He's like, kid punched me in the face. I said, what? Where you live? Yeah. Into the street, get in the van.
Go get out of here.
We can
I'm
drive
gonna fuck his
up.
daddy up, and if you don't fuck him up,
I didn't even fight the kid. My dad almost fought the other dude.
how it goes.
Nobody fought. It was just a bunch of
Yeah.
shit talking.
But yeah,
well, I had Los on. I know we were just talking about what got you into boxing and and all and what you like more.
Los the host.
Yeah, Los the host. That's my guy. And obviously he's heavy into boxing and stuff like that. He trains people and things like that. But having him on, I know that fighters like. I guess what the question is like, did you feel a need to fight? Like, what is there something that? Because like I know Los, like his story was, and I'm sure you know his story because you're probably closer to him than me. I know him through poetry. Mm-hmm. We've been homies for a long time, but I know that like his like stepdad or dad was beating on his mom, and he had to stand up for the house, and like that's kind of what led him to boxing. Like you have a story like that where you just like a smaller guy, people
that's what it was.
On you. And,
I did get picked on a bit as I was coming through middle school, elementary school, but I always felt not that I was smarter than people, but to a degree I was smarter than dudes.
I could tell you were intelligent.
You know what I mean? So it was like I realized early what it was to have a coalition behind you, an alliance behind you. So I remember there was this one kid. I swear to God, if he's on site, if I ever seen him, I don't think I'd recognize him. But if I ever seen him, his name was Bubba Jenkins. Bubba Jenkins, you hear this shit, boy? Terry Rodriguez still wants you. I remember when you put your finger in my pizza, bitch. I remember that shit.
Oh yeah, you know what I mean? Fuck yeah.
Yeah, my square pizza in the lunch cafeteria.
Not the square joint.
With the little sausage crumbles on that joint. No.
Yeah, but Bubba Jenkins on site. But I remember
on site.
I remember my homeboy Dale Cofield. And you know, these were bigger dudes, cooler dudes. Not that I wasn't. I got along with just about everybody. I'm very easygoing to get with. But I learned early about creating relationships with people. Yeah. And so I had just aligned myself with the right folks. Yeah. And then very cool story about Bubba Jenkins. I aligned myself with the right folks, and so that kind of insulated me from some of the shit. Right, because I hung with Waterboy. Nobody was gonna fuck with me because I was with Waterboy. Right. And that allowed me time to cultivate my own swag, and my own thing. And then really the coming out party for me was what I told you earlier when I did that fucking kata to Beethoven Fifth, and everybody's like, "Oh shit, he can fight." And all it took was a couple times. I broke one kid's nose, and that I rode that for the rest of high school. Yeah. I ain't had to fight nobody since.
Hell yeah.
You know. But the funny story about Bubba Jenkins, he did get his ass whooped. He got his ass whooped by my homeboy named Ivan Lee. And Ivan beat him from the vending machines in Oak Brook Middle School all the way to the damn gym doors. And it was like a movie, bro. Bip, 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 hitting him, boop, boop, boop. He got to the gym doors. Ivan hit him one more time. Bing, bing. His head hit the back of the door, and he slid down the fucking door like a movie, dog. I swear to God. That's how I remember it anyway.
Yeah.
But funny story, how that comes full circle is that I started training this guy named Terrence. And he started talking. He's like, "Where you from, man? Where you grew up?" And I said, "I grew up in Ladson. I grew up right off of Ladson Road. I grew up off of Miles Road. So I'm a Greenhurst boy. I grew up off of Ladson Road, Jamison Terrace, and all them places." And then he was like, "Man, I think you went to school with my brother." And his brother's Ivan Lee.
Oh shit!
Now his little brother Terrence Lee's been training with me for about 2 years now. And it's just funny how small the world is.
Hell yeah, especially around here, man.
Yeah,
shit.
I mean, we met at the thing, but I can already tell, like, you're a few years older than me, but I know that we probably know a lot of the same fucking people. If we were to, like, just sit here and be like, you know, such and such and such and who, you know what I'm saying? So, like, we could definitely probably connect some.
I was going to say, how young of people do you train?
I'd start him at 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, as young as 5, and I've got him as old as, 50, 60, old as you can get, man. Yeah. I'm super blessed. Super blessed to be able to do this for a living in the state of the world that it's in now. And the funny thing about the gym, it happened all organically, right? Like I started training my assistant coach, Nathan Threat, and then Andrew O'Neill was another one of my champions, and Javon Tiller, and my cousin Justin Danella. And we were just training in the gym one day, and my kid Nate was hitting the bag, just graduated from high school. It's about 5-6 years ago. On O2 Fitness off of St. James. Had a little boxing room back there.
Right.
He was hitting the bag wrong. And he was a wrestler in high school. And I met him. I said, "Hey, man, you're hitting that bag a little bit wrong. Can, mind? I'll help you out a little bit." And ended up being just training him once a week, every Saturday when I was off the road from my corporate gig. And then next thing you know, I dusted off my coaching book. And I was like, all right, let's go to work. And we took some fights, started training Drew, started training Javon, took some fights, started winning. And I said, fuck it, let's go. I opened the gym up in 2020, right? Signed my lease in January. COVID hit March.
Damn.
Damn.
And, luckily enough, I was smart enough that I had my plan through, that I was able to sustain my household and the gym just off of what I was doing for work.
Right.
But, man, I was burning the candle at both ends.
Yeah.
I was traveling. Luckily,
Robbing
COVID.
Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah,
and shit.
luckily COVID kind of grounded us, so I would literally finish my last meeting in my office at the gym, walk right onto the floor and start coaching until 10 o'clock at night.
Hell yeah.
And that's why the gym, I think, is a beautiful thing. Like it maintained, and we made it through COVID. It was just a whim that I started to train these guys for free.
Yeah.
Nothing. I didn't expect anything out of them. I was secure in my corporate gig. You know what I mean? I was doing well. As far as I thought, for a kid that never graduated. I mean, I graduated high school, but never went to college. I should have never had the titles that I ever had in my career in all these big corporate companies.
Right.
And did the things that I was able to do. I wasn't supposed to. I was a
Yeah.
kid that grew up in duplexes and trailer parks off of, in Ladson. You know
Hell
what I mean?
yeah. Yeah.
My daddy was a dope dealer, and I wasn't supposed to do the shit that I did, but I did it.
Fuck
and
yeah.
and all of that led to this point where we're at now. And I think it's always funny when I take account of my life. You talked about Los. Like Los grew up in Ladson. We Ladson boys. Like we 4, 5, 6 boys. Right.
Yeah.
We call it DTL, downtown Ladson, right? And he grew up in Jameson Terrace and Fairlawn. I grew up all up and down those neighborhoods too. And I've known Los since. He always says, since I was taller than him, right? That's
Yeah.
his fucking joke. That's been the same joke for 20 years, Carlos. Let's get a different joke, bro. But I remember a story. There's a story. I don't feel like it's true because there's a lot of stories about me doing things that I don't quite remember. But Carlos says there was one time we was at the bus stop and I punched him in the stomach and he cried. I don't remember that shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, Carlos and I, that's how we met, and we met through Johnny, and that met us into getting into poetry. So this was one of the things I really want to talk about because I'm interested in hearing kind of like the musical journey you guys been on. But I think I wanted to give you guys a little history of hip hop in Charleston from my perspective, right?
All right.
So I remember back in the late '90s, there used to be this open mic, not an open mic, but it was like a freestyle battle. It was called Wild Style Wednesdays. And it used to be at a club downtown on Market called Level 2. Y'all remember Level 2?
Remember Level 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back in Level 2 days, there would be these Wild Style Wednesdays where you go there and people would be all over and you'd battle them, like for real battle them. And then there was also some small battle spots up off of Phosphate where there would be I forget the name of the restaurant, but it's behind the Jiffy Lube with Dorchester and Phosphate. There's like a Jiffy Lube. There was an island bar or restaurant, something there.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And there was a couple, used to be some battles there. And then that kind of led into just going to open mics. So we'd go to open mics and we would write shit and we would spit shit. And then, everybody wanted to be a rapper when I was coming up,
Yeah, same.
So I did, I made a little EP, never did nothing with it. It just gave it to my friends and family. But the poetry thing is kind of what really popped it off for Charleston. And if it wasn't for the Wild Style Wednesdays, I don't think the scene would have been as big or been able to be birthed like it was.
Yeah.
So when me, Los, and Johnny got together, we formed the group Movement INC. That was the name of our group, the Movement. And we had an idea of bringing poetry to North Charleston because everything we had to go to was downtown Charleston, or we had to go to Atlanta or Charlotte or somewhere just to spit.
Yeah.
And our jump off was Turner South, the TV show or TV station. Turner Broadcasting had a slam, and they went to every major city in the South. Charlotte, Charleston, Atlanta, and they held this poetry event, and it was a slam based on judges, and you try to win it, and you got a commercial spot, and blah 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 blah. I ended up winning that slam, nice. Right? Nice. And the piece was about your city.
Yeah.
What's your city like, right? So I spit it and I won it, and then we rode that wave. So I was like, yo, fuck it, let's do a poetry spot. So we did the Sunday Night Poetry Lounge. And we did that every Sunday night at Sonia's and Manila Grill off of Ashley Phosphate. It's not Manila Grill anymore. And we did that for years. And Loke had some time commitments to the federal government that he had to take to take care of. And then that's kind of when the movement kind of disbanded. And then I say all that just to go back and say I think what's important for me anyway in my life is to really go back and take an account of what led me all the way up to where I'm at now.
Yeah.
And if you're really smart about looking at your life, you can see each building block that you have that's going to help you be successful in that next thing. And here's the example, and I'll try to keep it short. I was never afraid to get up and spit in front of people because of Wild Style Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Never.
True.
I fumbled shit. I forgot lyrics. I couldn't freestyle for shit one night. Whatever. Right? I was okay with failing. And that's one of the other key
Yeah.
ingredients. Second, when the poetry came around, it just made my pen game get tight.
Yeah.
Because I wrote, especially when we had our own spot, I wrote new piece every week. And my shit
That's
wasn't
dope.
my shit wasn't little pieces, bro.
Yeah.
I was spitting fucking epilogues, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
6, 7, 8 minutes just
Yeah.
straight spitting.
Yeah.
And I would write a new piece on a Sunday, memorize that shit, and by next Sunday I was spitting that motherfucker on stage.
Hell yeah.
So then it goes into my work life, right? So then I started out of high school. I did like everybody in my generation did. Nobody really guided me to college. And in my day, you had to have a college degree or you weren't going to be shit.
Right.
That's just what you were taught.
Yeah.
Right.
Nobody
Yeah.
pushed me that way. So I went into the work field. I started working at Airborne Express, a.k.a. DHL Express, later on bottom. I did that for 10 years. I honed my management skills, managing people. And then I got into the real corporate world. I started working at a CarMax, and I did that for 6 years, Fortune 500 company. And because I learned how to not be afraid to speak in front of crowds and know how to manage people, that got me into the door into that corporate world. And then I just became a rock star because I had all those skills that I picked up along the way. I knew how to manage people because I did it for 10 years. I knew how to be organized because I did it for 10 years. I'm not afraid to speak in front of people because I did it my whole life coming up. I'm not afraid to perform in people because bullshit you're not. When you making presentation in the corporate world,
It's a
motherfucker, you
performance.
on stage, bro.
Yeah,
You gotta
100%.
spit your shit.
Yo, facts.
So I was spitting my shit at CarMax, and they learned, and I learned from there how to really be structured in the corporate world, processes, how to build processes, how to do this, how to do that, and how to do the third. And that got me into my final corporate gig where I worked for an automotive software company out of Toronto, Canada.
Yeah.
Right, and I started from the bottom like I did all my jobs, and thankfully I had a leadership that believed in me, and I ended up being the vice president of the company.
Yeah.
And so then they were sending me around the world, bro. I was going to Dubai and negotiating deals to buy our software with sheiks out there.
Yeah.
I was meeting and rubbing elbows with the big wigs from all the major OEM manufacturers, Toyota USA, Nissan USA, Fiat, Chrysler Automobiles, you name it. I was telling these guys to use our products to teach them how to run their businesses more effectively in their service lanes. A motherfucker that grew up in Ladson,
Yeah.
South Carolina.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
no college degree.
Yeah.
Never.
But it's like you said, bro, like all that
got
shit
that fight in you, dog.
got that fight in you, and like it's something to be said. Like I think like what the point you're trying to make is just like, even though it's like something that you think's a humble beginning, like
Yeah.
being able to like write those fucking bars and memorize those bars. And then like, for instance, I'll give you an example. When I was in college, I was going to be an engineer, and I've always, to answer your question, because you started with a question and then you filled us in on all that, like I started with poetry, he did not. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not a poet, but I mean, I don't want to say he's not a poet because he is a poet, but he's a rapper. Like, he's a rapper's rapper. He's always rapped. Like, he's wrote raps since I started writing poetry, and it led me to rap. Like, he's always been a rapper. He's a dancer, rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, best rapper I've ever met in my life.
Dope.
Like, I'm, you know what I mean? And like, I got bars, and I'll put my toe to toe with anybody, but that's the guy. But poetry,
Appreciate that, buddy.
yeah, but poetry was like my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up, you know, fucking Section 8, fucking
Right.
parents always fighting and shit. Like, fuck, I go to the room, write some poetry. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
that type of shit. But, you know, fast forward to build upon your point, when I was in college, we had to do a PowerPoint, and like, I was the youngest motherfucker in this engineering class, and like, a lot of these guys were like people who had been like you, that were already like the top dog in the engineering department, but at the time they were like, you got to go back and get these degrees, because all these young cats are coming in with these degrees, and they're going, why is this motherfucker don't got a degree, and he's the head of the engineering department.
Right.
So all these companies were like sending these guys back to college just to, as a fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, for,
As an
It's
expense.
a box to check.
yeah, just a box to check and be
Covers
like,
their
okay,
ass.
you're good.
Right.
Yeah, to cover their ass. But long story short, we got to do this PowerPoint presentation, you know, and these guys, like, they've been in the field for fucking 20, 30 years. I'm trying to get into this field. Bro, by the time I'm done with this PowerPoint, all these motherfuckers is, like, offering me jobs and
Right.
shit, dude. This is my second year in college. Like, I still got 4 years to go before I'm even an engineer. I ended up dropping out and shit. But the point is, it's just like, what you're talking about, being on stage and like being able to command a crowd and have that stage presence and just have that confidence. You know what I'm saying? And to be able to understand, like, I don't think a lot of people understand that, like, everything in life, when you're speaking or talking to people, or you have like this plant, like, it is poetry, bro. It's like we have to have like, we have to have a beginning, a middle, an end. We have to have like a common theme. We have to have like that kind of funny shit that's in there that loosens you up. And then we got, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we cracked in, like, he's opened up a little bit. Boom, I'm in there, bro.
It,
like,
baby.
now I'm hitting you hard right where, because you done open up. Like, I you know what I'm saying? It's like you thought like I was making you laugh. Nah, I was opening you up for this real shit I'm about to give you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, oh, they're loose. They done unbutton their shirt. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
It's all about winning mentality.
It really is. And a lot of people,
you can win a mentality of a crowd if you can relate. If you can, I don't even know how to put this in words. But if you can make them feel like you're one of them,
Yeah.
but you see it from a different perspective, you win, dude.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is just win the mentality.
And to build on that point, one of the things that I always felt that helped me be successful was being likable.
yeah,
Motherfuckers gotta like you, bro.
Yeah.
If they don't like you, they ain't fucking with you.
Yep.
yeah.
They're not riding with you. So, but that comes with being genuine as well. And I think a lot of times, especially in the corporate world, like, I loved it because I was me regardless.
Yeah.
I cleaned up my shit when I was talking to some executives, you know what I mean?
for
I
sure.
wasn't cussing or
gotta
nothing
read
like
the
that.
room.
But, like, my humor was the same, my delivery was the same, my cadence kind of was the same, my energy was always the same because I'm an energy dude. Like, I put out energy and I believe it attracts the same kind of energy I want back.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, like, the other thing that I help you be successful, other than in my opinion, and what's helped me in my life, other than being likable, is just having the perseverance to do shit.
Oh, yeah.
So I kind of laid out, like, my life in a short, a minute span, but you look at the time that it took to hone those skills, right?
Yeah.
Taught Taekwondo for 10 years since I was 12. That was my first job, right? Learned how to structure classes. I went into the work field. I worked at DHL for 10 years. That's 20 years. I worked at CarMax for 6 years. That's 26 years.
Yeah.
I worked at Dealer FX for 8 years. You're talking about 4 years of experience that led me to now be successful enough to open up the gym.
Getting old's a bitch, ain't it?
It's got its pros and cons.
It's got, yeah,
No,
yeah.
I, on the good side, I'm saying,
Yeah.
like, dude, because, like, I don't feel old. I'm 38, right?
Yeah.
I don't feel old,
I don't
but, like,
feel
just if while you were saying your shit, I'm going through my head, like, damn, I did this, I did that.
Right.
Like you start, like, putting together the blocks of, like, all the steps that you took to get there. You're like, God damn, man. Yeah, at the time, I thought it was just, like, a pain in the ass, like, thing that I just had to do. But then you go back and realize, like, I'm capable of doing shit now.
You're capable.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I feel the same.
I know
way.
38-year-old people that can't do
Yeah.
shit. I know 38
100%.
motherfuckers that can't change a tire.
Dog.
Yeah.
I know them.
I know
Well,
50-year-old dudes.
It's like
you know.
this. It's like this podcast, man. I see a lot of people that are doing podcasts, and our shit. Like, if you look from a year ago to now, like, it's progressed so rapidly and so much with the quality of production, the graphics, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's because I understand how to grow something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I understand how to manage something because I've owned my own business for fucking 10 years, and then I've been in the same field for fucking 15 years
Right.
before. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been in this fucking field for 19 years. You know what I'm saying? With what I own a business in. But then on the flip side of it, I've been in doing this shit, entertaining, poetry, music, entertainment since I'm 15. So,
Right.
21 fucking years I've been doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
like, of course I would be fucking remiss if my audio didn't sound good, if my video didn't look good. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
You
who
wasted
the
a
fuck
lot of
would,
time.
I done wasted 21 years to look like Joe Blow from down the fucking street.
Right.
Like, nah. But I like too like everything that you were saying, because now you're a boxer, or not a boxer, but a boxing coach, and you own a boxing gym, and it a lot of that translates. You know what I'm
does.
saying? Like, understanding.
Everything translates.
Yeah, because boxing is like, especially you coming from poetry, boxing is poetry. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
it
Like,
is.
it really is. It's just like, it's poetry in motion. You know what I'm saying? They describe it as that a lot. So it's very like, it's very cool that I not only know one person that's been a poet. Like, what's the quote? It's better to be
A farmer.
a gardener in a war than a warrior. It's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So like, it's cool to know a couple people that have actually used it, that have actually brought that to fruition. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, when I watch boxing, it reminds me of watching or listening to like a dope ass poet. When you see a great boxer, it's just like they understand like, oh, this is my stanza. It's a 1.
That's
2,
right.
3, 4. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I look at it like a chess match more than poetry.
I mean, chess is poetry too. You know what I'm saying? Like it really is. Like you're like that's what I meant. Like when I was talking about doing the PowerPoint or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you're opening up somebody. You're doing something. It's meticulous. I've said this. I said this outside of the thing the other day. Like I had to tell my wife, like a couple months ago. I was like, I have to really work on myself to not manipulate you, and I'm sorry for that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's you know what I mean. And I was talking to like another poet about that, and he was like, "Damn, bro, like
that's heavy.
I gotta go home and talk to my woman." You know what I'm saying? Like that's fucked up. Like I like. You're right though, and it really is like I'm not a manipulative person, but I understand. Like I mean, it's almost like some 48 laws of power shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the power of like suggestion and manipulation. Like when I'm wrong, like I can fucking find a way to not be. You know what I'm saying? Like I just like with not even just my wife, like with people in general. Like I can move a conversation the way I want it to go without like being conspicuous about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I can get you to like pick what I want to be picked. You know what I'm saying? Like I could just maneuver and manipulate, and like I don't like to be that way a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not cool to be like, and that's what I think. Like, I think that's what differs from somebody that's like a malicious person.
Right.
Is somebody that's intelligent and knows how to manipulate and does it purposely and continuously. You know what I'm saying? And then there's other people like me. It's just like, I can manipulate you and I can move this the way I want to move it, but I'm not going to because that's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like
if I had a superpower, that's what I would want it to be.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wouldn't want to fly.
No invisibility.
I wouldn't want to be able to kick ass. I just want to just
it can
control minds, dude. That's
really
all you
can
need.
It can be a superpower.
It's probably the best superpower.
And it's not. I mean, and it's prevalent in a lot of places. It's just a matter like you identified it. And it's funny you fucking say that shit. I literally last night, I was having a shitty day, whatever. And my wife run the gym, right? And my son, he helps out too. And I've got some other coaches on staff. But anyway, long story short, she was up there asking me, I don't even remember what it was. But because I was in a shitty mood, I knew that if I acted a certain way, I would get what I wanted out of her. You feel me?
Yeah.
So that is exactly what you're talking about.
100%.
Give me a pen. I got to write this down.
So then when I got home, I got home, she was home, I started eating, and I was just in the kitchen. She was sitting on the couch. I said, "Hey, baby, I'm sorry."
Yeah.
Because, I was just being a shithead for no reason because I knew I could be a shithead to you and you would do whatever it is the fuck I wanted you to do.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of introspective and understanding of who you are as a person. But more importantly, it takes a lot of courage to be like, hey, yo, I can be a piece of shit if I wanted to.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of pride swallowing.
100%, bro.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't mean it.
Well, I just feel like, I mean, a lot of people are that way. Like, sometimes it could be the woman that's that way to the man, and then it could be the man to the woman. Like, it's just like, I don't know, man. It's hard. For me, it's always been hard to, like, because I'm not, like, an abrasive and confrontational person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so like my defense mechanism is to be like, I just get you to do what I want you to do without the conflict. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it might take me a week instead of like a day, or just like 10 minutes. Like most people would be like, "Fuck you," da 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 da. They'd argue it out and it'd be done in like 5 minutes. I'm like, man, this is gonna take me like 3 weeks, but I'm gonna get what the fuck I want out of this relation. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever I want to say right now, I'm not gonna say because I already. It's hard. Like I feel like I'm always like 5 or 6 fucking steps ahead of that person. You know what I'm saying? And not everybody. I don't feel like I'm like the smartest person ever because it's not even about that. It's just like psychology. Like I've studied psychology and I love just thinking about like the way the brain works and the way that like every action has an opposite or equal reaction. So it's like, okay, well, how can I get the reaction I want? Because I might not want the opposite reaction. I want an equal reaction. So like I'm gonna wait a few days, and
See,
then
that's
I'm
way deep, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Like, it's like that. That's how I think. But whatever, man. It's all good. I love everybody.
Or you
Yeah.
can just go train to box and just punch somebody
Yeah.
in the face and
Yeah.
get your results right then and there.
That's what I tell my son.
I said, shut the fuck up.
I think I've said that on the pod
Wait
before.
3
I told
weeks
my
to tell you
son,
that
if
shit?
I ask my son right now, if I bring him in here, I'd be like, yo, what's my biggest regret? He'd be like, Dad, not punching more people. But, yeah, that's what I tell him all the time. I should punch more people. I should have, man. I was just too
You know,
nice.
for me to be like to your point, I'm not a confrontational person either per se. But when I get there, like everybody else, when I get there, it's like, all right, there's no turning back. So there's gonna have to be.
I hate being like that.
Yeah, me too.
I hate getting there.
But I do my best, and to your point, like where you feel like what you were mentioning was like you feel like you're 5 steps ahead. I feel like I'm not that. What I feel like I'm able to do in the heat of the moment of things is take what somebody says, analyze it really quickly, and then kind of ride the wave or ride the momentum, and then create the momentum the way I want to go.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to think steps ahead. I'm in that moment, and then like I got
You're
a
just
decision
trying to
tree.
counter.
I got a decision.
Perry.
Right.
That's why your name's Perry, bro.
Perry. Took it away.
See, that's
That's
quick,
it.
bro.
That's it.
That's quick.
That's
so
it.
how can people reach you, man? If you want to fucking learn how to.
Yeah, man. Like, the best way to get to us and really get a feel for the gym, my coaching style, the culture and the atmosphere of which the gym is to follow us on Instagram at rbacademy.sc.
I got one of your stickers up in my garage.
Word?
Yeah, man.
Damn.
I'm in the loop, bro.
Yeah. And then, you can hit us on the website. There's all kind of questions or answers that you can find there regarding like how to sign up and pricing and classes. Yeah. Yeah. At www.rodriguezboxingacademy.com. Your YouTube channel is really not that popping. I started it a while ago, but there's some breakdowns on really kind of understanding the game. That's that kid, Andrew O'Neal I was talking about, one of the guys I started training for free.
Hell yeah.
And now he's looking for his pro debut. Hopefully April 20th in Rock Hill. We'll keep everybody posted.
That's what's up, man. I mean, obviously, I'll tag I'll put all your socials and shit when we put these things out, and I'll tag your YouTube and all that. But before we hop off of here, I know you said you had some events coming up that you wanted to plug.
So what I really wanted to do is just give everybody a heads up. We just competed in South Carolina's Golden Glove State Championship. And for the first time since we've been competing as a gym, we've carried really all of the divisions. So we have 5 champions that we crowned for South Carolina that have the opportunity to go represent us at the regional level in
5
Alabama.
people out of your gym?
5 people out of our gym, yeah. We got champions out of 125, 132, 139, 147, and 176. And prior to that, it was just my guys, Nate and Drew, that you saw, and Javon. They were, 119, 139, and 154. So we always rep the state, rep the Illville for a long time. But this is the first time where the stable has really become really, really strong. And I'm really proud of those guys for the commitment that it takes to really get in there and fight. And some of those guys had to fight 3 days in a row to win the title,
Right.
depending on how big their brackets are. So this will be our 4th year going down to Alabama to represent South Carolina, Team South Carolina as a whole. And then after that, we've got some guys and gals going to the national tournament in New Mexico. And actually, next weekend I'll be flying out with my son and 2 other boxers to go compete at the national tournament to try to win some national titles this year. I feel like this is our year. We've done at the state well at the state level and the regional level. We just got to crack that nut at the national level.
Hell
and I
yeah.
feel like this is the year. The momentum is on our side, and I'm super excited for
Shit,
that. And more importantly, what I'm excited is just to bring recognition to where we're from, because whenever we go out to these other these big national tournaments, number one, we're one of probably the only one, and maybe just another gym from South Carolina ever representing on the national level. Very, very few gyms get to do that, or have earned the right to do so.
Correct.
That said, I just want to motherfucker put some respect on our name.
Put respect
yeah.
on my name,
Respect on
guys.
our name, bro.
Hell yeah.
South Cat, know where we're at. I've got people that say, hey, we're from South Carolina. Where's that from? I'm like, are you for real?
Yeah. Oh, we get to tell people we're from Goose Creek.
Yeah, exactly right.
Where?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No shit. Like, it's like by Somerville. Where?
Yeah.
Like
Charleston.
Right out Monk's
Like,
Corner?
we from Charleston.
Fucking Charleston.
That's
I'm
all
from
Charleston.
Rainbow Road.
Yeah.
I'm from the Battery.
American Street.
So
They
American
fired me
Street.
out of a cannon on Fort Sumter.
That's it. Shot heard around the world, right? But I do have one question because I'm sitting with some esteemed MCs and poets to my left and to my right. I'm always interested to hear everybody's top 5 list,
Okay.
dead or alive, and your reasoning behind the top 5 list.
All right.
Here we go. You want to go first?
Oh man, my top 5.
Yeah.
Shit.
In any particular order?
Any particular order. They
Any
don't have to be
particular
1, 2,
order?
3, or
Not ranked,
5.
not
but-
ranked,
Not
like-
ranked. Just who is your illest top 5 and why are they the illest to you?
Tupac. For he's always in my top. I mean, I might as well just throw him out there. Tupac definitely is in my top 5.
Yeah.
Great poet, visionary, revolutionary. You can feel his shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I love shit that's palpable. You
Yep.
know what I mean? Lil Wayne is in my top. Best lyricist probably of all time, man. I mean,
Yeah?
I know a lot of people don't like that, but I'm an MC, bro. And bars, like, you just can't fuck with that. Bars, he's got bars for days.
Yeah.
J. Cole is in my top 5.
Yeah, Cole is dope.
Illmaculate. Nobody's gonna know who the fuck that is,
I know
but
Immaculate is.
you know, Immaculate. That's gonna be one of my top 5, and then probably Andre from Outkast.
There you
too.
go.
I mean, is that 5 or
That's
did I
5.
say 4?
That was 4.
4? Oh.
5.
You got one more, bro.
I said Mac, J. Cole, Lil Wayne, Tupac, and
Andre.
And Andre. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my 5. Fuck
Alright.
what
All
everybody
right,
else
so
said.
if I go top 5 in no particular order, I'm Lil Wayne for sure. For the same reasons that he said.
Right.
When it comes to like people, okay, very short story. I had a cousin that was like Lil Wayne's whack. I said, "You're crazy. Oh, his shit is so whack. Everything on the radio is whack. Everything is like, see, that's where you fucked up. You're just listening to radio." And then I put him on to like one of the mixtapes that he was on.
Right.
Next day, motherfucker called me. Was like, "You right. I fucked that all up." For that reason, and for the reason that he single-handedly changed rap. So many people followed his style after he was who he was. He started this so
fair.
young. Motherfucker, he's the greatest. Eminem is in my top 5 for the same reason. I'll use the same analogy that I heard Andrew Schultz. You know who Andrew Schultz is?
Yeah.
I'll use the same analogy that he put together to say it. Is that if you look at a basketball player like Kyrie Irving, right?
Yeah.
Just basketball. You figure to be a good basketball player, you got to be able to shoot. You got to be able to pass. You got to be able to dribble. You got to do all these things. Kyrie Irving is probably the best dribbler to ever touch
Best
basketball.
handles.
Right? Stephen Curry is probably the best person to shoot threes.
Yeah.
Eminem is the best person to rhyme words.
I agree with that.
Right? So everybody can I'll argue with anybody that Wayne and Eminem are definitely in my top 1 and 2. Ritz.
Ah!
A lot of people don't know who Ritz is, but
Rich is dope.
I fucks with Ritz. I was a Bone Thugs fan. I was
I fuck with Rich too.
a Do or Die fan.
Do or Die's dope too.
I was always on the Crucial Conflict.
Crucial Conflict.
I was
Smoking on the hay, bro.
I was always down with double time rappers, and I think
Yeah.
that. I mean, obviously Eminem's good at it too, but like that's Ritz's style,
Right.
And he's melodic. He can do his thing. So I fucks with Ritz. Andre 3000.
Yeah.
For every reason that he should be, because when it came to being from the South,
Yes.
rappers weren't what he is.
The South got
right?
something to say.
The rappers were not what he is. I mean, he was such a deep poet, and for all those reasons, he's the fucking man.
He's the man.
I want to say Tupac, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
My top 5. I always check for Tupac shit. He's obviously heartfelt.
Top 10.
Yeah, for sure.
Easy.
He's there for sure. But I say I want to say T.I., but I'm not gonna say T.I. And this is probably not a great pick to say, but I'm gonna say it because he's one of my favorites and he has some of my favorite verses.
Don't downgrade your pick, bro.
But this
don't
is,
make
but-
excuses
but-
for your
but
shit.
This is my man,
Who is it?
Bun B.
Hey, I can't be mad at that.
Nah, that's
Yeah,
dope.
that's dope,
You
bro.
go back and you listen to some of Bun B's verses back in the day, and your favorite rapper's favorite rapper will tell you
Bun B.
those were that was the guy. So
Yeah.
that'd probably be my top 5.
That's dope. Top 5.
Who you got? M, Ritz, Wayne, Andre,
and Bun.
and Bun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show my age though, I guess. Yeah,
right.
I'm not that much older than y'all, but I
Like a Cool Herc.
not that old.
Just don't, yeah,
Not that old.
don't cool G rap in this bitch.
Yeah, Coogee Rap's dope though.
Yeah,
but
hell yeah.
my
Rakim.
yeah,
All right.
Rakim's always in the top because there was MCing before
Yeah.
the 18th level.
That's all. Rakim would be in my top if that was something that it's just before my time.
right.
Yeah,
and
mine too.
but I remember the transition from hearing Rakim and then being like, don't nobody rap like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not with the breath
That's
control.
like Tretch.
Not with the,
Tre-
yeah,
I was gonna
my
bring it
God,
up.
Tretch,
I mean,
bro.
Tretch
I was
is
gonna bring that
yeah,
up.
dog.
Tretch. So
bring it up.
Rakim for sure, right? Because he changed the game just like you guys are.
Yeah.
Wayne. Wayne's a little bit before, after my time. Like I was kind of in the boat with you because I remember I wasn't into Cash Money days. It just wasn't my thing because I was just a different era. So Rakim, second. I love Black Thought. Right?
Nice.
Black Thought.
Great pick.
Black Thought is
Great fucking pick, dude.
Black Thought is so dope, bro.
Oh, great pick.
Man, that last Hot 97 freestyle or whatever freestyle he
Yeah,
did.
you
Come on,
fucking
bro.
ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
I wanted to say Sci-Hi to Prince.
I wanted to say
Sci-Hi
Sci-Hi
to
Prince.
Prince,
I was
too.
like, you gotta go top 10.
Bars on bars
I
on
mean, that's
bars.
why we've had this
So
conversation so many times. I'm gonna go
It's
ahead.
gonna
you can
change.
finish.
My
I'm gonna
shit
let you
changes on.
finish.
My shit changes on South, dog. Come on, Water.
Beyonce had
Let
to-
you flow.
yeah.
So yeah, Beyonce. Black Thought, right?
Right.
After that, I got Eminem
Nice.
for the same reasons. I think there's no better guy
I hate white rappers.
that changed.
Go ahead.
That changed the game
Yeah.
from just rhyming fucking words, right? Some of the content, like, I don't vibe with, but like the way he structures his shit and it can ride the beats certain ways and cadence in certain ways and like that's the man.
He's mechanically a rapper's rapper.
Yes, correct. Then I going up north a little bit, and I always go back and forth with this pick. Sometimes it's Nas, and sometimes it's Pun. But I love Pun, and I love Pun a lot just because he had good breath control, but didn't. If you really listen to his tracks, you can hear him because he's so.
That's what's dope.
But that's what's dope.
Yeah.
Right.
But that one, what's the one verse? I'm gonna fuck it up. Go ahead, keep going.
Which one? Okay. My last one's just like y'all though. Andre, bro.
Yeah.
Andre Three Stacks. Like, there's no better.
It's crazy to have such a small catalog and be fucking
That-
you know what I mean?
As
And
iconic
then
as he
and
is,
then
yeah.
like not only a small catalog, but you're only half of that catalog
Correct.
because you're a duo and still be
Dog.
so respected as that.
But I will say
that
this.
shows you how dope he is.
This what shows you how dope he is you listen to Big Boy shit now. Mm-hmm. Like outside of Outkast and out from under Andre Three Stacks umbrella, a shadow. Mm-hmm. Big Boy's he
Dude,
can
go
Big
back
Boy
and
is
listen.
a bad
Go back and
motherfucker,
listen,
bro.
Jay-Z said
he
he's
carried
like,
some of them songs.
Jay-Z
He did.
said it's hard for me to listen to Outkast shit because I'm stuck on Andres. It's hard for me to listen to Big Boy shit because I'm stuck on Andres.
Right.
But if you go back and listen to the Big Boy shit, he was killing shit.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of honorable mentions I could have put in my shit.
Oh, I got
for
honorable
sure.
mentions.
Like
Lots of-
Yellow
lots of-
Wolf would go
Yellow-
up
Yeah,
in
Yellow-
my
Yellow
because
Sci-Hi
dude,
to Prince.
Sci-Hi to Prince. That's
Yellow
the
Wolf,
same
dude.
generation.
Jay-Z. I mean, Jay-Z is fire, bro. Nas
You
is
can't,
fire.
Nas is
deny
fire.
Nas, fucking.
But I didn't
Most
wa-
Def
like,
Talib.
I
I mean,
didn't-
I was
there's
Most Def is usually in my
dude,
top
Yeah.
shit, too.
he's
Yeah, I
he's
just
up
didn't
there,
want to pick like
The Usual Suspects?
accepted- Yeah, I was just trying to give a little bit of difference to it. I mean, I know I did pick some people that would be in there, but
It's crazy you say Big
what
Pun,
is the
though.
fucking Big Pun like?
Dead in the middle of
Dead in the middle of Italy.
Yes,
Little did
Italy.
you know he
Italy.
didn't do diddly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching some interview the other day
That
with Fat Joe, and he was saying that was just a joke.
Well,
He was
hey,
just
that's
joking.
a great
It was just
fucking
one of
joke,
those
bro.
jokes. They
That's
just
a
be
great
in the
joke.
back in the green room
Dude,
rapping and just trying to
yeah.
make shit
Dude,
rhyme.
fucking DMX. I mean, he wasn't like a rapper's rapper, but as far as like putting songs together, DMX, you could. I mean, dude,
Based
Big
off
L,
that,
come on,
Big L, bro.
Big L. It's funny that nobody said Tretch. Me and my man
Tretch is
Michael
underrated.
Harwick. Shouts out Michael Harwick.
Yeah,
He
I just feel like I said before, it's always got to be parameters. Like,
But what was the
If it's
year
just
that
straight-
Yoke the Joker came out? Jeffrey, can you look that up?
It was
like 90,
No,
89
no.
or 90. It was mad early.
It was in the 90s though.
So
Yoke the
the
Joker's a
challenge
good
that
song.
my man Michael put me up to was like, find anybody
That-
before that time.
I agree.
That rapped that way. You won't.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, man. You might find some Rakim, some shit. And it was like, nobody rapped like Tretch.
Stretch is dope.
Nobody
no,
rapped
no,
like Tretch.
he was
dude.
multisyllabic.
Yes.
weaving like
go back and listen.
M gives a lot of his
Oh,
credit
yeah.
to Tretch
100%.
and
Go
Rakim.
back and
Yeah,
listen to
Rakim.
fucking Feel Me Flow and just
Yeah.
like
Here we
OPP,
go,
like
yeah.
all those
Yeah,
radio
all
hits.
those.
Go back and listen to them and like,
Yeah.
if you
It's
look
'cause
at them
he was-
written down, it's like, dude, this dude is weaving
Yeah.
these words together.
He
dude.
rides that. He rides
Yeah,
the beat
it's-
like
it's
no
nasty.
other.
He's a wizard.
He's very
Sick,
melodic in
sick.
his ride, baby.
Yeah, yo, the Joker.
Yeah.
That dude's dope.
I don't care.
14 years ago. I don't know.
Nah,
it's older than
that's
that.
just because
You
of
gotta look.
YouTube.
You gotta look it up on Google.
Yeah, you'd have to Google
I think
it.
it's 1990.
Could
But
be.
91.
it's early, yeah. It's early.
It's mad early.
I still stand on the hardest opening fucking song to an album is Young Jeezy.
Yeah.
Which album?
You gotta believe. I used to hit the kitchen lights. Like that. That's the.
All right, so we've talked. I'm sorry.
You get what I'm saying? Like
I wanted to ask another question.
There's a lot of dope opening.
Top 5 went way on.
I want to know top 5 albums, not just all the artists.
Oh,
Can
we
you
ain't
can
even
you go?
got time.
No,
for
wait,
this.
no,
You go-
bro.
we
That's
ain't got time.
crazy.
We gonna
That's
get
part
that on the
two.
next
That's
one.
crazy.
Part two on
We
that
be in this
shit.
motherfucker all night.
Hey, Perry Rodriguez boxing camp. Go check out his gym. It's off of Trolley Road.
622 Trolley Road, right by the
622.
Ye Old Fashioned.
Yeah, right by the Ye Old Fashioned.
What's the
man.
Instagram thing again?
It's at
PB
rbacademy.sc.
RB
rbacademy.sc.
Yeah. So y'all go check out his gym. We're gonna tag all his shit. If y'all want lessons, if y'all want to learn how to box, then get at him. If you just want to support some of his boxers, I got a lot of people that love to support up and coming everything. So
Yeah.
I love y'all for that.
Academy? I'm a fucking
So
idiot.
there's a lot of fucking boxers out there that could probably use your support and love.
For sure.
So follow his Instagram, and follow their socials. Go check out some live events, man. Go watch some boxing. I'm gonna get out there. I'm gonna be out there. Yeah.
Let's go, baby.
I'd love to watch that shit. I'd love to come through. Maybe I'll get them boys a couple songs they could come out to or something.
Hey, that would be
what I'm
fucking.
saying?
Hey, you know
Like,
what would also be dope? If I've earned the invite to come back, we spit some bars, bro.
We stay ready for it.
Yeah,
dog.
yeah, for
Spit some
sure.
bars.
For
Stay
sure.
ready for it,
Yeah.
dog.
I might have to come with some written shit, though.
Nah,
Yeah,
definitely,
we
definitely.
do freestyling. We'll talk
Yeah,
about that.
nah, for
Definitely.
sure. We'll have you back in probably like 6-8 months.
Whatever,
so,
bro. You let me know. I'll be here, baby.
yeah.
Bring your Golden Glove champions
I'll
and,
bring
and
it.
your
Side
belts and all
side
your
note,
shit.
You might be down for this. I don't know. If not, we'll pick a different beat. But there's a beat that I want to do. You might like to do that. I want to do that fucking TLC. What about your friends?
Yeah.
I think we should fucking spit
That was
bars
my
over
jam.
that.
Dude. I had it on tape.
Bro, I was listening to that. Bro, I was listening to that shit the other day. Jeff, pull up. What about your friends instrumental? TLC. What about your friends instrumental? And after we hear this for a second, we'll kick off.
It hits
But
the
if y'all
ground
want to
running.
spit some bars to this shit later on,
You mean I gotta
like,
spit over
it's-
Left Eye shit, dog?
Dog.
Left Eye was like one of my
I'm
favorite female MCs,
I know,
dude.
dog. And this fucking beat, I'm telling you, would be so hard for some boom bad fucking.
This shit's-
Oh, what that
rap
is?
shit. You
this
know
shit
what I'm
hits the
saying,
ground
dog?
running,
Like,
dog.
It just goes hard, son. Like it's a.
Yeah. Yeah, that shit was fire too. What about your friends?
Tell me, dog. Nobody spitting over
Yeah,
no shit
you're
like
right.
this now. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like some Sway and Tech in the morning shit.
They don't make
but-
shit like that.
Hey, like I always say, think harder, work smarter. If you want it to grow, just add water. Perry Rodriguez, Cousin Sal,
Hey.
it's the Water Pod. Peace.
Yeah.
My shit morbid, horrid. I'm in orbit, straight gas. I just floor it, full glass. I just poured it. Should I pour it out? Trying to sort it out. Stretch this music like accordions. The whip a DeLorean. Your shit got some corn in it. You born, I was born with it. In the whip, my thumb drive to the store and shit. Can't pronounce this foreign shit. Take it day by day, fuck that looking forward shit. In the sand line, I'ma need some more of this. Hitting every orifice. What you expect up on some 40 shit? You know this life is short as shit. So live like it's your last one. A little dust,